Andre Osborne is a Jamaican immigrant who has bipolar disorder. He was detained in New York in 2008 over a 15-year-old drug charge and taken to the Willacy Immigration Detention Center in Texas. He left behind a disabled wife suffering from heart failure.
I was very depressed because I was dealing with an issue of a disabled wife at home. So I was mandatory detention. I had no possibility of receiving a bond. So that kept me very, very depressed, worried about my wife.
Osborne's detention center doctor diagnosed him with severe depression. Though he'd been treated before in the community, the doctor put him on a cocktail of new drugs and dramatically increased his medication.
So I took the medicine, came to the dorm, washed up, brushed my teeth, whatever. Came to my bunk, opened a magazine, started to read like I do every night. And that was the last thing I remembered. The last thing I remembered until I woke up the next day at 4:30 p.m.
In those hours of unconsciousness, Andre had fallen face first off the top bunk of his bed, badly injuring his face and eyes. He'd been taken by ambulance to the hospital for stitches, then returned to the facility infirmary. He slept through the entire 19-hour episode. Andre went to the facility counselor looking for answers.
When she gave me the times between the actual medical emergency call, the time when I came back to the facility, and the time I stayed at the hospital, came back to the facility, I mean, all of this, I'm asking myself only one question. How could I not know all of this? And she said, Osborne, you were over-medicated, you were heavily sedated, and that's why you don't remember anything.
Andre's case isn't unique. Immigrants across Texas's detention centers complain of poor mental health care, from limited access to counseling to persistent over-medication. Andre was one of the lucky ones. He refused further medication, found an attorney, and was released to his wife 2 weeks ago after nearly 2 years in detention. But he feels regret for the mentally ill detainees he left behind.
It used to be like, if you had any problem at all, you could just go down there and say, I need to see a counselor, and just talk to them just to feel better. That's it. It's really, really sad right now.